All right. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Everybody's good and quiet this morning. We're all ready to listen to some goal setting. Okay, today we're going to talk about our goal setting. So we only have two trainings left. We have today. So I thought we haven't hit on goal setting yet. We could talk about that a little bit before we hit the holiday season. But also, we have one more training next week with Ken. We have one more final training with Wilder. He's coming in to talk about that, everything he was talking about before, preparing for the appointments, trying to set goals, all of that as well. And he left us with two personality tests to do and another paid one, which I'm not sure what it is. But he asked that we try to do at least the two free ones. He can't make the paid one mandatory, but he asked that we could try and do all three of them for next week so he can work with us.
Quick question, Christine, on that.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Christine, you usually share the video. Did you share the last one? Did you get a chance to?
Ken?
The Ken one, yes.
Yes. Mohammed is saying, yes, I did. I was hesitant. I did, though, right? Yes.
Okay, I didn't get. Okay, I don't know.
Was that the first one or the second one, though?
You sent the first one.
That was the last one. Okay. Mohammed said I did send it. I'll look back if I did. If for some reason you weren't on the list, but normally I just copy and paste the whole office and send, right? So actually, yeah, you're right. I did because I asked Fahisan and he said send to the whole office instead of, because the first time I only sent to the people who were here, but the last one I shared with the entire office. So
okay. Let me check on that on my end.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. No problem. Okay, so we're going to go over our goal setting for 2026. So who has actually thought about what they're going to do for 2026 and started to write a plan? Right? Okay, so normally what we're trying to do is every year we're trying to set bigger goals than what we did this year. So I can tell you without even thinking about it, that is going to be 100% of us this year because everybody kind of had a bit of a slow year, right? Even the best of the best. So we're going to talk about goal setting because we want to definitely push for 2026. We're all hoping for a better spring market. So we're just talk about it a little bit. So when you're setting your goals and you're writing your business plan for 2026, your goals have to be specific, detailed, and clear. Okay. So you can't just say, I want to make more money for next year. You have to invest the time and you have to write your goals down. It doesn't happen unless you write it down and you have a plan. So there's a direct link, they always say, between writing your goal down, seeing it being written, and burning it into your subconscious mind. Okay. The goals you desire must be specific and not vague. So like I said, you can't just say next year, I want to make more money. To set a goal to be rich or happy won't draw you to it. You have to have a goal. So well-written goals are like magnets. I was just talking to Ruth actually about this morning. I was saying, well, I really truly believe that whatever you put out in the universe comes to you. So if you're not concentrating on your business and you're distracted and you're like you're home or you're around or you're just with your friends or you're not thinking about it on a regular basis, it's not going to come. Whereas if you set aside that time and you put in your goal, I'm going to spend 3 days a week in the office. I'm going to make sure I spend X amount of time making calls. Whenever you put that energy out, it comes back to you, right? I swear it always works that way. Your goal must be concrete and tangible. So I like to use this word tangible a lot. I think I've got a little teasing about it over the years, but I will say it has to be a tangible goal. It has to be something that's real that you can put into something concrete, something that becomes a real thing. So while I can say I want to make $10 million commission next year, who wouldn't, right? That's not a tangible goal. Okay. What is my current business that I'm doing? I have to take a look at that. And I have to say, what's a realistic thing that can come from this year and come into a tangible, like come to fruition next year, right? So highly defined goals are attained, goals are forgotten. So we have to define it really well. The goals you set must be measurable. I'm going to show you guys, if anybody's been for training before with me over the years, my little table that I like to use, how you can truly measure happiness. You can't just say, I want to be happy next year. You have to be able to analyze and evaluate your progress and results in a tangible way. There you go, my favorite word. Many people have a goal of being rich. You need to know specifically how much money is rich. What is rich to you? You need to know the specific time period you want to achieve it, and that's a goal, okay? Aside from that, you also need to how to achieve that, like the step-by-step process and how you're going to achieve it. Your goals have to have deadlines, okay? They have to have a time by which you need to accomplish them. So they also have to have interim steps along the way. So you see very often when I go over, I've got tons of charts and ways to measure your business, whatever you're comfortable with, and I'll try to go over as many as I can today. But generally, when I talk real estate, I talk quarterly. I like to check in quarterly how you're doing. And I find that meshes well with our regular real estate seasons. So we have January, February, March. January a little bit like slower or whatever. Then we have, April, May, June. We got our spring market. July, August, September, really dead season for us generally. Maybe towards the end of September, we get our fall market, right? And then October, November, December, where we kind of go, we have our fall market, then we fall quiet by this point in December. Super quiet. So the sub deadlines or schedules are critical to your success. There's no unrealistic goals. There's merely unrealistic timeframes. So if your goal once is to be a millionaire, not that you can't do it next year, but perhaps that's not a real attainable goal in real time, because maybe you're a new agent, or maybe you only did 50,000 this year in your business. Is that a real attainable goal for next year? So maybe you can say by 2028, I'd like to have achieved $1 million in commission. Whatever you think is realistic for you. Everybody's goals are different. That's the thing at the end of the day. We can't sit together and all have the same goals because we have different goals and for different reasons, right? Goals need to challenge your capacity or beyond your current capacity. So this is why I said for sure this year, all our goals are going to be bigger than this year. Sorry, for sure for next year, all our goals are going to be bigger than the current year, because I know everybody struggled this year. We all had a little bit of a tough time with the real estate market. So you need to push yourself beyond what you currently did this year. If you did 50,000 this year, don't say I'm going to do 70,000 next year. I mean, that's just one extra goal, one extra deal. It's not really going to push your capacity. So they're going to stretch and mold you into a new person, right? Jim Rohn wisely said, it's not the money that makes the millionaire successful. It's what he had to become as a person to earn those $1 million, right? If you took money away from that millionaire would make it back twice as fast as before, because he learned the skill to make it in the first place, right? I always laugh at these people like, look at Trump, how many times he gone bankrupt? Come right back to it, right? Because they have the skill set. They know that consistency is key, a good business plan is key, and keeping at it, whatever the mindset they're in. They don't let other people distract them. He comes off as a very aggressive person, or a lot of other people do, a lot of successful people do, but it's because they don't really care what's going on around them. They don't care about the noise around them. They have a clear, definable goal, and they look straight forward, right? So that's what gets you to your goal. Your goal needs to possess congruency with your values and beliefs. So your goals also have to be harmonious with each other. Let me give you an example. I want to lose 40 pounds, but I also want to eat Rocky Road ice cream every night before I go to bed. That's not something that is like congruent with your goal. So one of these goals I will need to give way to the other. They're not congruent with each other. There is no way I can achieve both at the same time, and you cannot achieve goals that are actually contradictory. So you can't say to yourself, I want to earn $1 million in commission next year, but you know what? I also want a vacation 3 times, and I don't like to work weekends, and I need to be home at 6 every day because I want to eat dinner at home. It's not a congruent goal. You have to be able to, if you want to do that, you're probably going to put in 12 to 14 hour days and probably work a lot of your weekends, right? Your goals must have a balance between your personal life, family, financial, spiritual, physical, mental, and business goals. So we always talk about work-life balance, right? Just as a wheel needs balance to rotate properly, we need balance to get anywhere in life. So if you're burnt out, you're stuck, you're missing family, or you're missing church every Sunday because you're doing showings, or whatever the case may be, if it's not meshing with your life, it's not something that's sustainable that you're going to keep up with, because it's not making you genuinely happy at the end of the day, right? So it has to have that good balance that makes you happy and makes you be able to sustain it and keep up with the consistency of it. And the largest, most difficult goal in life is to find your purpose goal. So we always say you have to have that monetary goal, but what's the purpose goal behind it? So we all have one goal that's the core of our being. Our life moves to greatness when we decide upon a definite purpose or focus in our life. So we talk about, and you'll see when I go over the chart, I always have, okay, what's your commission goal for next year? What's your personal goal? Like what's driving you to want to get that commission next year? I want to take 2 vacations next year with my family. I want to buy a new car. I'd like to upgrade my house. I want to go to a bigger house. I want to be able to not work weekends at all because I want to spend that time with my family. What is driving you to that goal for that commission that you're setting for yourself next year? Super important to be side by side with the monetary goal. Okay. So I guess I'll go to this chart next. I think this is more like what I was talking about. It's good right off of that. Oh, sorry, let me get somebody in the room. So you have my action plan 2026. I created this so many years ago. Every year I try to just tweak it up a little bit, but it hasn't changed much from the beginning of time. So I'm going to say here, I want to earn, say you want to earn $150,000 in commission next year. Okay. So that's going to break it down to 1.9 deals per month. So somebody, I know a lot of times when especially new agents that I have come in, I'll go, you know what, this year we're going to earn $100,000. And they go, it sounds like a lot. But when we break it down to real estate, that's only 4 deals, right? So you mean to say you can't do, like if you're earning about $1 million home, right? You're earning that $25,000 commission. That's 1 deal per quarter. So you have to, they always say to KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Like if you don't think in your mind, $100,000, oh my God, that's crazy. If you break it down to something simple, like this quarter, I just have to get 1 deal, right? In your mind, it becomes something attainable and simple, right? So we look at $150,000 commission for 2026, okay? And that's going to be 1.9 deals per month, okay? It's pretty simple to keep up with it, right? And so what's our personal goal here now? We're going to write in our personal goal. I want to take more vacation with my family. Is always my goal. I get on a plane anytime. Somebody says trip, I'm there. So, okay. So you're going to tweak this. You can take screenshots of this. I can even send you guys this template. I don't mind. It's not mine personal. I just created it to help sort of break it down simply for everybody. So how many months do you want to work in the year? I always say 11, right? 11 months in the year because realistically, I have kids. So March break I'm off, a week or 2 around Christmas time, and maybe another week somewhere filtered in the year. You're going to go on vacation or something. So realistically, I'm only looking at 11 months worth of work in the year. Okay. So, because I don't want to set something unrealistic. I don't want to say I'm doing 3 deals per month, and then I lose that month in the year and I don't hit my goal, right? So 11 months in the year. How I plan to achieve my $150,000 goal. And again, this isn't ironclad. This doesn't work for everybody, but this is how it works for me usually when I do my business planning for the year. So my commission goal for 2026, say, is going to be $150,000, right? Average commission for a listing now, I don't know if I readjusted this year. Every year you kind of have to because prices are up, down, whatever, but you can look at the average price, right, of listings in the pocket that you work with, because this is also going to be different. If you're working in Bridle Path versus working in Malvern, your average price per listing is going to be different, right? And how many listings you're doing. So you're going to adjust it. What's your average commission for a listing? Okay. Based on the farm area that you're working in, if the average list purchase commission for a listing is $14,628 here, and the average commission for a purchase is $36,000, okay? Now here again, we're gonna adjust at the side here. Are you a listing agent or are you a buyer agent, okay? You know what you work with mostly, right? I always preach, it's my belief that to be an active agent, to be a good agent, you have to be a listing agent because you get the buyers from your listings. But a lot of people just tend to work with more buyers. So if this 75-25 split does not work for you and you're more 50-50, then adjust that there. But I'm definitely more listing agent, right? For sure. So I say that 75% of my sales, 75% of my commission comes from listings. Okay. Based on the average price of listings and purchases, we see the breakdown there from the 75-25. How much of my commissions coming from listings? So I'm thinking next year, 100, and this isn't my realistic goal. I just typed in 150,000 today, but 112,000 is going to come next year from my listings, and 37,500 is going to come from my buyers. Yeah.
Normally the 2.5% when you make a listing on the listing.
Yeah.
You use some of them for staging, advertising, doing it.
Yeah.
What is the average number from 2.5 that you use in your calculation?
So it all depends to what you're getting on a regular basis for commission, because I know not everybody's getting 2.5% for the listing side, right? I do 2.5, 2% all the time for my listings, 100%. Hey, how are you? So I don't know. I think that you can use probably 10. It depends. It depends to what kinds of listings you're doing. Like if you're staging, then it's going to be a lot higher ratio. Are you staging all the time, right? I stage for very specific reasons. I don't stage every single property because I don't find every property needs it, right? So, I mean, it all just depends. If you're constantly working with builders, brand new homes that they've just built, flipped, dropped a house and put a new one up, that kind of product needs staging all the time. Your expenses are probably going to be higher than mine, right? Because I feel like that's a product you're going to walk into, and if it's blank and if it's empty and there's no staging, it's not going to sell as well, right? So it all depends, you know what I mean? I try to give good service to my clients as far as marketing is concerned. Like going in, always take professional pictures, doing a good virtual tour, spending a lot of time on pushing it out on social media, in your network, stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, the cost is really a sliding scale on what you're providing as an agent, right?
Average is 1%? No.
I don't know.
2.5%.
If you get 2.5%, okay, so say on average on $1 million home, you're looking at about $25,000. You're spending 1% on your listing. I think that's fair. You know what I mean? You think that's a little on the high side, but it depends what you're including, right? Yeah, like I say, it depends what you're doing. So I don't know. You can figure it out. Like I say, this is just sort of an idea of how to go and organize yourself next year for your business plan. But it's the numbers. I've left so many numbers able to change. I didn't make them static and unchangeable spots because, like I said, even the 75-25 ratio might not work for everybody, right? So if you go and change that, the spreadsheet works that it'll calculate it if you put 50-50 there. You know what I mean? If I put 50% here, right, it's going to automatically change all the numbers in the spreadsheet for me, right? I just sort of configured it so I could when I sit down and I work with people on their business plan or their goal for the year, that they can get an idea, because I like to break it down to something very simple, right? So we're going to say that means next year I need at least 8 listings sold and 1 buyer sold. Okay. So we're going to go from that to 1 seems, why does that seem like it's not working out? It seems like it should be about 2 here. I'll have to check that. But anyways, you're going to go and you're going to say to yourself, like, of every listing appointment I go to, I'm not necessarily going to get that listing, right? So now we're going to break it down to how hard we have to work to achieve 8 listings and 1 purchase for next year. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that 80%, good morning, 80% of my listings taken are sold. My listings taken goal is 10, okay? So that's whether you sit down for the listing appointment, whether the listing sits up and it sells and it doesn't sell. 15% of my buyer contracts are not completed. My buyer contract goal is 1. 70% of my listing appointments are successful. My listing appointment goal is 14. So I need to sit down for 14 listing appointments to get 8 listings. Not really true. I think my ratio is a little bit higher, but 80% of my buyers will buy. My buyers appointments I have to take are 1. Okay, I don't work a heck of a lot with buyers. It's more listings, right? So now we're going to break it down to monthly goals. We're going to say 1 listing and 1 new buyer, right? We're looking at the beginning there at 1.9 deals per month, right? So we're going to say the monthly target is 100 prospects, 100 leads, right? Which means that we're going to look at, on average, about 10, right, per week, because we're looking at only working those 11 months at the end of the day. And then what you want to do is, like we said, you have to check in with yourself. So you're going to check in with yourself and you're going to say, okay, 37,500 is what I want to make each quarter. So as you're working, you're going to keep on coming back to your business plan. The worst thing you could do is make a business plan and then not look at it until like November of next year. And you're going to go, oh, I didn't hit it. Now what am I going to do? Right. So in January, if you make $1,000, right? And then February is a slow month, you make 5,000. And then you only made another 10,000 in March, you're going to see that you're at a deficit of 12,500. So you're like, okay, I better push it now in the spring market while it's busy because I'm already $12,000 behind my goal. I don't want to be behind more now, right? And keep on checking in with yourself as you go along. This is my original template you can see here. Keep on trying to change every year. I mean, like about 10 years ago. Okay, there we go. So by December 31st, 2026, you're going to see what your name is, what you've made. Did you hit your goal, right? And once you do your business plan, you're going to sign it and date it. Because now what you've done is you've made it something tangible. You have it written down. You have something to make yourself accountable, and you have something you can check back on every day, right? Or every couple of weeks, whatever the case may be. Okay. So that's going to be the breakdown. Now we got our plan. We're going to make $150,000 commission. How are we going to do that? What's our plan to do that for next year? How are we going to get business? What do you guys normally do? Okay. If you're not busy right now, what are you doing? What are you doing to get business? There's no wrong answer. What are you guys doing to get some business? Nothing?
Idea is to pick up a geographic area, a small area, maybe 5,000 houses or 1,000.
Even less, 1,000,
And then send them maybe Post Canada, a postcard every 2 weeks or every 10 days.
Yes, very good.
And then pick up the telelisting phone number and see in that particular area how many houses you can call.
Exactly.
And try to call.
100%.
And when there is better, then you walk and focus. I mean, focus, I think, is the key. To success. And then if it's successful, 1,000 or 2,000, then you go a little bit bigger, make it 4,000.
Yes,
and make it 10,000. But focus and expand from one area.
Everybody lives in a neighborhood where they know who the popular real estate agent in that neighborhood is, right? But we know as agents, that agent isn't necessarily popular across the whole GTA. You're just living in their farm area, right? And if you can think of that person automatically right now, who the person is in your neighborhood, they're doing a good job. They farmed your area well because their name is on the top of your mind. So that means your whole neighborhood has it on the top of their mind. So when that whole neighborhood wants to sell, they're going to go, oh, I'm going to call, Christine Boland. I see her stuff all the time in my neighborhood. I saw her door knock. I got her flyer at least 5 times this year. She just sent her calendar out for Christmas. Right? I talked to her while she was door knocking. I'll be on the top of their mind. So farm area is an amazing one, right? So definitely, you should be doing anything at this time of year when it's slow to go. That's one of the good pillars to work. I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. I was just thinking of it. This is what RE/MAX provides. So it's like not just a me thing. I can't take credit for business plans, obviously, but it's pretty much the same thing that I was showing you. And whatever format works for you. If my one's too complicated because I like spreadsheets and numbers, just grab one of these business plans from the Agent Hub on RE/MAX, right? And break it down again. What's your sales volume goal? What's your gross commission goal? What's your monthly buyer appointment goal? Monthly seller appointment? Monthly contacts? Monthly contacts is important because that brings you down to the simple of how many appointments, how many sellers you got. What's your daily buyer appointment? Seller appointment, daily contacts. You're going to break it down further, right? And then here we come to the personal. So what's your physical goals, your relational goals, your financial goals, your spiritual goals, and what's my why, right? Everybody comes down to that. Like I said, you can say you want to make $500,000 in commission next year, but if you don't have a personal goal behind it, then it doesn't. There's nothing pushing you for it, right? So all is part of your business plan. Is something that's going to draw you to it emotionally, spiritually, something that's important to you, right? So I just grabbed that because that's interesting to see, like, you know, it's a much simpler form, but maybe that's easy. Maybe that'll get you to do it, right? If you just print this off of I can even share this with you guys off of the Agent Hub and Remax, just something simple, just so you get it down on paper. So you know in your head before this year is out in the next couple of weeks, this is my goal for next year, right? The worst thing you can do is be a couple of weeks into January. I mean, you're already wasting a third of your first quarter, right? So you don't want to get a couple of weeks into January and be like, oh, you know, I'm not focused. I don't know what I'm doing this year yet. Okay. So what should we go over next? I was going to go, let's see. We can do success and failure. I like to talk a lot about what makes a successful agent, what makes agents who fail, what I see consistently. And I've tried to add to this list over the years. So 11 reasons why agents succeed. And this is what I feel. They focus on business generation, okay? The worst thing that happens when people come and sit at my desk is, and honestly, if you sit with me, I'll just be brutally honest. If you say, can you just show me how to do, like, to write out a BRA, or can you show me how to fill out the listing paperwork? I'm not going to sit an hour with you and do that. I'm just not, because to me, we're salespeople. Your first priority is to generate the business. If you don't have the business, you can be perfect on paperwork and it's never going to help you make $1 in this business, right? So I'm going to say to you, no. What we're going to do instead is we're going to sit and we're going to talk about your business. Where's your book of business from? Have you created your center of influence? Have you picked your farm area? Have you sent out some marketing material? Does anybody know who you are? Are you a secret agent? Who knows that you exist? Who knows that you're an agent and that they should call you for real estate business, right? Nobody cares if you know how to fill out a listing agreement or a BRA, right? When you come to me panic saying, oh my God, okay, I got a listing. I don't know how to do any of the paperwork. I don't know how to prepare this offer. My buyer wants to purchase a house. Absolutely. Then I'll be like, yes, let's sit down and let's put your offer together, right? Business generation, your number one only priority. Prospect early in the day. If you don't start prospecting early in the day will get away from you. You'll never do it. So I always say like 9 to 11. 9 to 11, I come in. By the time I come in, drop the kids off, come in like 9:30, sit, have my coffee, I get on the phone. That's the first thing I do. Prospect, call people I think that I need to call, right? Tough on pricing, go back faster for a reduction. So this is pertaining to our listing agreements. I'm tough on pricing, right? I just had a listing appointment last night and I was a little disappointed because I didn't know the house was in such disrepair. So I had brought a little higher comps. I bought a mid, a high, and low, but I really think we're below the low that I brought. So I had to be a little tough. And I was like, you know, I brought these comps, but I don't think you're going to be quite there, right? You got to be tough on your pricing. You can't just be a yes man and take listings for the sake of taking listings, okay? Prospect for appointments, not leads. It doesn't matter. You can get leads all day long. I hear very often, and not that I don't agree, all these lead companies are garbage. I get they're sending me garbage leads. I don't think 100% of them are garbage. I think that we're bad at following up. I think we're bad at calling them fast enough. I think we're not keeping consistent. I think we can convert a lead like this, like we should get a lead. You know, even the ones we're getting in our Remax back office, you don't call them today and have a house sold next week. These are just hot leads. Instead of cold calling a whole entire neighborhood, you're getting somebody that you know might be interested that you can nurture for the next month, 2-3 months, and close a sale on, right? So prospect always for appointments. You want to sit down and make an appointment with those people. You don't want to just collect a lot of leads, right? You want to focus on them. Track and monitor everything you do. So I've shown people my notes in my system. So I literally will write, I talked to Mrs. Smith. Her dog just got out of the hospital and her son's getting married, right? And she wants me to call her next week about listing the house. So then I call her back and I'm like, hey, Mrs. Smith, how's doggy feeling? Buddy's doing great. Awesome. I'm glad and how's the preparation for your son's wedding going? Great. You want a personal touch, you know what I mean? Because 75,000 agents on the real estate board right now, right? How are you going to stand out? How are they going to know that that you're genuinely concerned, that you care about them, that they want to call you, right? You have to make a connection with them. So track and monitor also pertains to what worked and what didn't. Just because you're amazing at posting on your Facebook page every day, is that helping your business? Are you getting calls from it? Right? So you have to monitor. If that's not something that's working for you, you either have to do it better, find a different way to do it to get more engagement, or you have to focus on something else, right? If that's not working for your business. Review your business plan weekly. So I know I'm guilty, probably don't refer to it weekly, at least every month though. I know I can check in, right? I have a shared one that I go into and I go and I check it and I say, oh, you know, we didn't do this, and oh my gosh, we're behind, and halfway through the year, I don't think we're hitting this goal this year. So work on scripts every single day. And that seems excessive, but I got to tell you, it's the truth, because scripts change. Even for me, I have to learn new scripts every day. So while I might be very familiar with when people throw up regular objections like, will you reduce your commission? That's a common one, right? There's new ones all the time that we get. Should I list right now? What do you think is going to happen in the spring market? Do you think there'll be another reduction in interest, right? You have to work on your scripts. You have to learn how to talk and look knowledgeable in your field. The worst thing you can do is be like, I don't, you know, and if you don't know what script to use and it doesn't come out naturally, people are going to think you're not knowledgeable about what's happening right now, right? You have to sound intelligent and knowledgeable about the field that you're working in, right? Stay on schedule at all costs. So if you told yourself, you know what, I'm going to work every Monday to Friday, because then I'm going to take Saturday, Sunday off. That's going to be my 80-20 rule for this year. I really want to enjoy my weekends, but then you don't work Monday, Tuesday, because I don't know, you decided to stay at the cottage longer, you know, 3 weekends in a row in the summer. Well, then make sure you're catching that up somewhere else, or you're not going to stay on your schedule, right? You have to make up those days. Maintain high standards. Like I say, don't be the 1% lister. Don't be the guy taking the iPhone pictures with your phone. You know what I mean? I know that we do have to put costs towards our listings, but that cost comes with rewards. You become an agent somebody respects, and you're working with a high standard. You'll get recommended, right? Don't get emotionally involved. Oh my goodness! If I could tell you how many agents I've told, how many of you guys have got in the middle of a negotiation and the other agent's getting really heated on the phone, or they're arguing, or somebody's upset that you sent them this offer, or, you know, somewhere in the negotiation. You have to keep emotion out of it. It's business at the end of the day. You have to, because the worst thing you can do for business is be this heated agent who's flustered and getting angry all the time. Someone could be yelling and screaming at me in the other line. I don't care. I'm going to remain calm, because I don't know what we're getting upset about. It's not my house that I'm trying to buy. It's not your house that you're selling. Why are we're supposed to be the impartial people in the middle, right? So don't get emotionally involved, right? And have a plan with accountability and structure. So we talked about putting those goals together and having something accountable, like checking in quarterly, and how you're going to obtain those goals. I'm going to come into the office 9 to 11, 3 times a week, and make prospecting calls, and make yourself accountable to that. Okay. Now we're going to go over the biggest reasons why I see that agents fail. So we wait for repeat and referral business. Okay. Referral business. You all are going to go to some kind of holiday party right now, right? Over the next course, New Year's Eve party, something's going to happen. And someone's going to say to you, hey, you know what? My cousin Bob wants to sell his house. You go, great, get Bob to call me. Bob's never going to call you, right? You've got to go, great, can I have cousin Bob's number? I'm going to give him a call, right? I'm going to call and set up an appointment with him. Don't wait for it to come to you. You have to go search for it. Repeat business, check in with your clients that you have sold a house to 5 years ago. Buyers that you haven't heard from in a month or two, because they might be going off buying somewhere else. Just keep on top of it. You can't wait for it. If you generate your business inconsistently, so the biggest thing I see is, okay, I just got a house purchased, and then they sit and they're like, commission's going to come in January. I'm going to rest now the rest of the year. End of January, they get their commission, and then they're like, oh, now I got nothing. So now you got to start the ball rolling again. You got to work all of February. You got to go show another house, or you got to put another listing up. Have that sit up for a month. Then maybe you'll get a commission in March or April from that, right? It's inconsistent. As soon as you sell something, you go, okay, now I'm going to go back to my center of influence. I'm going to go back to my farm area. Where's my next business coming from? Okay, so don't be inconsistent. You don't qualify your leads. This is a no-brainer, but everybody gets stuck in it every now and then. Are they actually qualified for their mortgage that they're looking for? Have they given you all the paperwork they need to get that rental, right? I don't even go out and show a rental until I have the rental application, credit score, and everything in front of me, because otherwise it's a waste of time, right? You don't qualify your appointments. Again, I sit down for a listing appointment and I realize that, oh no, this is something that the parents left and the sister needs to be here and the other brother. And I just wasted my time going for this listing appointment when I have to come back again after she talks to those other people. So qualify your appointments, check who needs to be there, who needs to sign. Are we able to sit down for this appointment? Are you able to purchase this, right? Do you have enough income to qualify? Whatever the case may be. Overpriced listings, we talked about that a little bit of why they succeed. This is why you'll fail. Don't overprice your listings. Spend too much time on their marketing. So a lot of people are saying, oh, I gotta work on this flyer, and then I gotta make sure I have my Facebook business page, and then I gotta do don't sit and do it. Just go out and find business. Go out, talk to people, meet people. This is a networking face-to-face business. If you're not out there looking for business, then it's not going to come to you, right? So don't spend so much time on your marketing. Marketing is important to some degree, but if you look at my Facebook page, I don't care. I try to keep up, but I'm not good with my social media, right? It helps your business, but it's not all your business, right? If you don't track or monitor your activities, like I touched on that too, if you're constantly on your LinkedIn and you're not getting any business, but your LinkedIn is wonderful, you're not tracking that's not helping you at the end of the day. And then again, you have no plan, accountability, or structure. So the whole point of today, do you have a plan? Do you have accountability? Do you have structure? Do you have a reason that you want these goals? Do you have a way that you want to make these goals? Is it a realistic goal for next year? Bouncing off the business you did this year? So make sure you check in with that and see. How is everybody online? Do you guys have any questions? I know I talk and talk and talk. Okay, so again, I'm just going to click on these real quickly because I just don't even I talk about breaking down that whole big spreadsheet I showed you. Whatever keeps you, if you just want to check in monthly, you can check in with your monthly goals, right? If you're on top of it, you can do it daily. There's all different ways. You can check in and say, okay, what did I do this week? Monday, did I get a buyer? Did I get a seller? Who did I meet with? Kind of keep track of what you did during the week, right? Okay, we can touch on this really quickly because I know we're almost done, but I love doing stuff at the busy season. Everybody loves to be busy showing houses and listing properties, and it's exciting, but what do we do right now when it's super slow? So I'll take 5 minutes to go over this before we finish up. Right now when it's super slow, we're going to set our goal and plan. So that was the whole today's purpose, is to get you guys in that mood to set your goal, set your plan, go and write it today, right? And spend the next couple of days figuring out what your goal is for 2026, okay? Update your LinkedIn account. I just put LinkedIn, but LinkedIn account, your Facebook account, make sure they're up to date, make sure they have up-to-date information. Did your phone number change, your email change, the address? Ooh, my battery's running low for this now. 1 second before I lose you guys online. There we go. Friends, contact, and clients on friend contacts and clients on social media. So connect to your contacts, reach out. My favorite thing is you can send everybody out a mass email. It's not as personal a touch as Facebook. So I tend to check in with everybody that I haven't talked to a lot if they're on my Facebook, clients and stuff, and people I haven't talked to in a while. Hey, how you doing? Long time no chat. How's the holidays going? What's new? What do you got planned? Just a little bit of conversation to remind them who you are. Develop your active listening skills. So key step in serving someone is being able to listen and read what they really want. Right? So checking out what they really want, what they really need, right? It's good to sit down with your clients too, especially your buyer clients. Google yourself. This is a big one. This one is hilarious because I don't know if I post this online on YouTube, kudos to my brother, Daniel, because he is big. Google yourself. He's like, where do you rank on Google? Do you even come up? Right? He's big on SEO marketing, right? So if you Google real estate agent Scarborough, he comes up. I don't, right? So by Google yourself, you have to see first thing that comes up usually are popular things that have a lot of SEO behind them, like your Facebook profile if you have one. So if people click on that, does it look polished? You know what I mean? Are you coming across as a professional person? What are those first few things when you Google your name and what comes up? Your online reputation, so that goes hand in hand with that, you know. Send requests online for online reviews, right? So people go by like Google and Yelp reviews. People always check, they say, well, what's the rating on it? Are they, 3.5-star agent, 5-star agent? Schedule 5 meetings with other professionals. So identify 5 people who you'd like to build a professional relationship with. Super important to have your go-to people that you can refer business back and forth, right? You should really have those people who you can depend on, that they'll send you business and you'll send them business right back. Find one meetup or networking event. As you interact with professionals and clients, you'll find plenty of opportunities to add people to your database. Networking is key. You guys got to get out there, especially now in the holiday season. Like I say, this is the time of year where we're out most attending different parties and stuff like that. And then keep in touch consistently. So once they're in your database, don't put them in and go, okay, great, I got their phone number and their email and I never contacted them. You want to definitely get in touch with them for any reason. Find any reason to get in contact with somebody, whether it's an update on the market, whether something sold in their neighborhood, whether you just want to say hello, remind them who you are, whether you have, I don't know, a special going on, something. Some reason you want to get in touch with them at the end of the day. All right. How's everybody doing online? I got 10 people online this morning. Everybody stayed home and was nice and cozy. Are you guys all good online? If any of you need help sitting down with your business plan, just call me. Usually this time of year, Salvin and I are really open to sitting down, doing one-on-ones with everybody, where we can sit down and work out what your goal is for the year. And we have a similar one like my spreadsheet, but we sit down and ask you guys questions and figure out how, what business you did last year, what you worked on last year, what you can improve on for 2026 to help expand your business. So definitely reach out to me. Let me know if you guys want to book a one-on-one. We can do that before the end of the year.
You want to list the house?
Yeah. Yeah.
When is a good time? January, February, March? When would be?
So it depends on their goals.
Good time for listing.
It depends on their goals. So I sat for a listing appointment last night, and her goal is to sell and then buy, and she wants to upgrade. So I told her, the worst thing you can do right now is sell low and then drag out a long closing. And then maybe if the spring market picks up, you're going to buy high. That's a bad scenario, right? So I told, it depends per client, right? So I told her, I'm like, let's list as soon as possible. Declutter, put stuff in storage. I don't care what you do, just get it done. I'll list today, tomorrow, January 1st, as soon as you're ready. Because I feel like that's important for her, what her goals are right now, right? But then I have clients that want to cash out at the max, right? So we're not really in a rush. Maybe we're looking for the beginning of the spring market, like March kind of thing. You know what I mean? Hopefully we'll see the prices start going up. So it all depends on your client's needs. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Time-wise, in real estate, is January good to list or February or?
So January is good to list in the sense that you won't get a whole flood of people in, but the buyers that are looking in January are more serious. Because nobody is running out in January to just go to open houses for the fun of it and see what's in the market. If they're scheduling an appointment to see your house in a snowstorm, I'm serious. I have a serious buyer. I want to buy it. So if you're a serious seller and you need to sell now, you're going to get fewer appointments, but you're going to get serious people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but if you just renovated your whole property and you're not in a rush and you're like, is January the best time for me to cash out of right now and get my money I put in back? I'll probably say no. I'll probably say, let's see what happens in the spring market. And if we see it's really hot, we'll list it right away. Do you know what I mean? Because you just put in $50,000 and renovated your kitchen and your basement, whatever the case might be, right? Yeah. You have to take real estate as a personal thing. You have to take every client and see what their individual need is, right? So again, I have a house flipper. We're not selling right now because I was like, no, let's put a tenant in. It's just 6 months ago. Let's put a tenant in. You rent it for a year and we'll see what happens next year. It's not your best time to cash out right now. I'm not taking it because I just want that listing. I have to deal with your individual need. I know you put the money in the house. This isn't where you live. You're not buying something. You just want your money out of this. It's not the best time to sell. Yeah.
It's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to secure those things.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, their parents are householders, but they also use it as their primary residence.
Okay.
Because they are forced to sell this.
So I don't know if you, sorry, what point you came in and caught what I was saying. I went for a listing appointment last night and this lady wants to sell an upgrade. So because she's selling and she's purchasing something more expensive than she's going to sell for, so she's still going to have a mortgage. I told her the worst thing you can do right now is sell low right now and then keep a like 3-4 month closing on it and then buy high if the prices go up in the spring. So I said, you're at that tippy mark. She's like, I want out. I just want to sell. I said, okay, fine. I said, we'll put it up like ASAP, because I want to make sure that whoever buys this, I put a short closing on it so you can turn around and buy, because I hate to see you sell your house low and then the market spikes and prices go up and then, you know, it's not the best case scenario for you. So yeah, so if they're turning around and selling, then they should probably try and do it quickly. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're not a rush, they could sell high and buy higher. But it's just, we're at that tippy point where it's a possibility. You have to be aware if you're listing anything right now, it's a big possibility that your client will sell lower right now and then have to buy higher in the spring, right? So you gotta be careful. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody good online?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Like I say, if you guys need anything, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to work on a business plan for sure. And then we'll make 2026 an amazing year. We survived. We almost survived 2025. So that was the mantra this year, was survive 2025, right? So we did. So 2026 hopefully will be better for all of us. All right. If you guys survive this, you guys will do fantastic next year, right? Put it that way, especially if you're a newer agent. I don't know who I see online here, but anybody out there, if you haven't done a lot of business in 2025, you'll do fantastic in 2026. Yeah.
What's the best way to get when we see some houses they are vacant?
Yeah.
How can we search the owner information?
So I usually go to title. I find the owner's name.
Yeah.
And then I go Canada 411. And everyone says, well, what if they're on the do not call list, right? You can go then to the do not call list and put that phone number in and check and see. Even though it's a little more tedious, but if you're not doing 100 calls a day, there's no point in spending the money on subscribing to the do not call list. You can search each individual number for free. So if you're just doing it like that, like targeted, Canada 411, if you find the number, then go there. If not, then, I mean, hopefully I'm going to post this on YouTube, look like a stalker, but if not, then I go on Geo Warehouse. It's a tenanted property here. I see that John Smith owns it. He owns 2 properties though. And he owns 123 Main Street. I'm going to go door knock 123 Main Street if I really want that listing, right? You can do a targeted door knock too. I'm like, oh, hi, do you own this property over here? I see it's vacant. Are you planning on selling it? You planning on putting another tenant in it? What's your plan? Right? So.
They have a different name on another property. It's my phone up there.
Oh, yeah? You can always throw me an address if you don't know. I'm a pretty good stalker. We can try and find a way we can get in touch with the person, right? Like I say, at the end of the road, when I'm like, oh, I can't find a number to call or an email or anything. Because I even checked like Facebook to see if they have an email or like something I can message them there and see if I'm sure it's the person. If not, then I'm going to go knock on the door probably. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time I come to 411.
Yeah, 411 is tricky. That's sort of the first place. And then, yeah, you can check from there. Search and see if they have a Facebook profile. You can click message. Even though you're not your friend, you can click message the person, right? And then they can choose to accept and read your message. And you don't have to be friends on Facebook to chat that way. Or a LinkedIn profile. See if they have a LinkedIn. Lots of people have LinkedIn. So see if you can find them. Unless they have a name like John Smith, and then it's hard because then there's like 100 of them, right? So yeah, then you try a door knock, I think. Mm-hmm. All right, I won't keep you guys any longer. I'll see you guys. Have a good week, everyone. Next week is Ken Wilder, so everybody make sure, I don't mind. I love seeing tons of you online. Thank you for joining training this morning, but I want lots of people in the seats next week because our guest speakers like to see the people in the seats. Like I know between here, we had 15 people training today, but I want 15 people in the room next week for Ken because it's nice. Our guest speakers feel welcome when a lot of us show up. So make sure you come. All right. See you guys next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your training today.
No problem. No problem. Anytime. Thank you, Harry. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good week.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.